Welcome to the Launch Button Podcast, where we unlock the secrets of successful entrepreneurs and real estate investors who found the courage to hit the launch button and take control of their destiny. Join me, Hugh Zaretsky, best-selling author, seasoned real estate investor, and serial entrepreneur, as we dive deep into inspiring stories and invaluable lessons that will empower you to break free from the ordinary and pursue your true passions. Are you feeling trapped in a job that drains your passion and leaves you yearning for more? Are you ready to accelerate your business and our real estate investing to take it to the next level? It's time to ignite your dreams and embrace the limitless possibilities that life has to offer. Get ready to launch into the life you've always desired by pressing the launch button. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Launch Button Podcast. We're going to cover three things today, so I want to make sure we hit them. We get you some great information, and then we'll get you on your way. So here's what it is. A couple things. We're just going to do a quick recap of the beginning of the year because we've had some amazing guests over the first little over 2 months of the year. And just the knowledge and the information that they've been bringing is just crazy if you haven't watched all the episodes or seen the Inside Podcast. Now, some people are like, well, Hugh, what's the Inside Podcast? The Inside Podcast is where you go to the launchbuttonpodcast.com, you sign in there, you're going to get access to our private podcast where we dive deeper with each one of our guests so that you can go to the next level. You'll also be the first ones to find out about our events, our live trainings as we're coming around the country here in 2025. Start with our first event next month, right after I get back from a special California trip. So I'll talk to you about that as well. And then we'll talk about what's coming up in the future this year, because we're going to go into Africa. We're going to talk about if you want to help people stop the walk for water. We're going to talk about if you want to be speaking on stages, if you want to be doing more real estate deals, or if you just want to work on that mindset, whatever it happens to be for you. So let's dive into it. Are you ready? Let's go. So we kicked off the year with 4 episodes just on mindset, right? We started with Dr. Greg Kimball and the infinity model. And if you talk about the infinity model, there's 4 pillars to that. And we've got to make sure that with most people, they focus on one pillar and then the others slide down. We don't want them to see the slide because they're all connected in his model. So we talked about your vitality, that's your health and your well-being. We talked about your personal development and your personal growth, your mindset, making sure it's in the right spot, plus all the things in your personal life. And then we get into your professional, your entrepreneurship, traditional business, whatever it happens to be, all the way to real estate investing and being able to do those things. And then we wrap up with community because that's going to superpower you. And that's going to supercharge everything you do. So my question for you is, are you hanging out with the right community? Say that again. Are you hanging out with the right community? So if you're not hanging out with the right community, you got to start hanging out with our community. We've been building communities all through COVID and everything like that. We got some amazing people from Miami, Florida to Seattle, Washington and beyond. We got people from Canada to Maui, Hawaii, you name it, New York City, right? To Denver, Colorado, you name it. We've got people all over the country that just want to come together and hang out and have a really good time. And you get to bring your significant others and your kids, or like me, if you don't have them, you just show up anyway and you get to hang out with all these people and have a blast. I mean, I got a little beard going here because we just came back from a men's retreat. We got this purple axe here. Now, they took away my flashlight. You'll see that on Instagram. They took away my flashlight, but somehow I got this axe through on the way home. So we'll talk about that, how we're able to do that. And that was one of the awards that I won at that event for perseverance. And that's what we got to talk about at the beginning of this year. Whether you like the new president or you don't like the president, it doesn't matter. We got to persevere because we've got to go out there and change things. And yet we have to pay attention to what's going on because it's having an impact on the market. So I'm going to give you a couple of little quick tidbits, and then we're going to talk about how we can help kids in Africa. We're going to talk about how we can help you surround yourself with the community and the people there. Because at each one of our live events, going to be 75 to 100 people there that want to help and grow and support you on your level of success or where you want to end up in life. We're going to have everybody from 1-year-olds, baby Teddy, learning how to walk, all the way up to wrestlers in high school. So you're going to be able to walk in there. Your kids are going to be able to walk in there. Your family's going to be able to walk in there and have an amazing time while you're learning and earning. And that's what we're going to talk about, plus building relationships. And that's the superpower. That's the community that's going to help drive you to success. So with that, let's talk about a couple things. The first 4 episodes of the year, we talked about that mindset. And that's really key. If you haven't watched those, go back. Right? Sharon Letter said, why not? Why not do something for the very first time? Well, this is why I got the beard. This is why I got the axe, because exactly that's what it is. So if you're on the podcast channel, you can't really see the purple axe in my hand, but if you're on YouTube, you guys can go ahead and see that, because I had to do something for the very first time, and that was go to a men's retreat. And it wasn't all about masculine energy and who could pump more weight, though there was a little bit about that, who could climb more stairs, all of those things. But it was also a place where us guys could go and share and be vulnerable and be able to tell your deepest, darkest secrets and have other people hear it and support you, and then be able to provide and not weaponize it and use it against you, because that's what happens a lot. Some people hear a men's retreat and they're like, it's all the testosterone. It was some testosterone, not because that's what we do, but we also had some fun. We also built deeper relationships, and we also shared the feminine energy, because when we do those types of things, we got to have both the masculine and the feminine to reach our goals, to be able to do what we want, and be able to communicate with the opposite sex. So there was a lot of great things that we learned. Chris Weichman, who's a former Navy SEAL, SEER trainer, great survival expert trainer for the military, and Dr. Greg Kimball ran that event. And it was a great job of just seeing how different people and different personalities all could come together for that. So what have you done for the very first time this week? If not, do something new for the very first time this week. Try something new. All right, I was also out in Arizona this past week. Just before that, it was a good idea. It went that way first. We were staying at a bougie Airbnb with a pool and a hot tub and pickleball courts, basketball courts, all those things, learning about optimizing our business. And that was the second focus of this year, right? After the first 4 episodes that we talked about the mindset, we dove into AI. We dove into optimizing your business and how you can use that to grow, scale, and take your business to the next level. And then, of course, one of my loves is real estate investing. So you got a chance to hear from Dean and talk about real estate investing and those different things. We'll dive into that. And then, of course, we had one of our doctors on for Vitality, Dr. Sherry, to be able to do that. Now, let's talk about each one of those subjects for a second. Our mindset, these 6 inches are the key, and we need to have people hold us accountable. I don't care if you jump on our calls. We do calls 3 times a week. Every Wednesday, we do an accountability call. You want to be there? Send me a message. We'll show you how to get on there, get plugged in and everything like that. We'll show you how to get on the app if you want all the personal development stuff that we do. But if not, find somebody. Find somebody that's going to hold you accountable each and every week. Tell them your goals, because once we say it out loud, just like a gym trainer, they're going to hold you accountable. And oftentimes you may not like it because we tend to lie to ourselves. So let's stop lying to ourselves. Let's start taking the action. I always say you got to get out of your head and into your body. So that's a very big thing there. And then once we do that, we start growing on there. Let's talk about the professional side here for a second. We got some speakers boot camps coming up if you want to get on stages and do that. If you want to do more real estate investing with the whole Doge thing going on, don't care if you like the president or not. We just don't understand that's the situation with Doge going out there and finding all these, unique situations and all these government layoffs. At one point, there was 3,000 homes in the Washington, D.C. area that got listed in the very same day. Just think about that. What's the impact on the real estate market? So we have a couple of real estate masterminds. If you want to get in there, learn what's going on, learn the hottest trends, stay up to date on that, because it's going to happen in all the different cities. Once they go through DC, it's going to come down to the state level. It's going to come down to the county level. And there's going to be huge real estate opportunities coming up for those of you guys in the real estate. So stay plugged in or get plugged in so that you can find out where that's going to happen next and some of the different things that are going on. Because Doge is going to have that impact, getting people to move, getting people to retire, right? Lots of different things are going to get freed up during this process. And again, we don't talk politics here. We just deal in reality. And then we also have the tariffs going into effect on April 2nd. Everything but the automotive industry right now, they just got a little extension. But as we're talking about that, again, it's going to have an impact. So these are the things. Every time there's a downturn, there's an opportunity. You guys all know how Airbnb got started? They got started during the last housing crash. The last housing crash is how Airbnb got started. Very first thing. There was no Airbnb before that. And then it became all the craze, right? So there's going to be opportunities coming up. You want to surround yourself with the right people to be able to go ahead and do that and get plugged in on there. And your vitality and your health. What a lot of people do is they sacrifice their vitality because they want to make money. Well, we've got to be able to do both. One of the things I realized living in New York City, we don't do a lot of stairs. We had to do a 1-mile stair climb up. So I've got to up my stair game. So this morning, I made a commitment to myself, and I want you guys to make a new commitment to your vitality for the next 30 days. What's it going to be? Is it working out 20 minutes a day? Is it working out 33 minutes a day? What is that going to be? Comment it in the chat. But, I think we climbed 2,800 stairs plus, 2,800 stairs plus, going up this incline in Colorado. So today I ended up climbing the stories in my building, right, from the ground floor to the roof deck and back down. We did another 7, so we're up to 24. So my goal is that once a week, I'm going to do it in boots because I hadn't trained in boots. So my legs weren't ready for that, all sorts of things, so that we are running up the mountain. We're competing with Tanner, the 21-year-old that was there. Even though we're not 21 anymore, you can see by the grays, to be able to go ahead and do that, right? So we're going to be making it to the top of the very next retreat that we do out in Wyoming, where we'll be out there. It's probably the next time I'll need this. Otherwise, it'll just be hanging back there on the shelf, hanging out. Just a reminder of how we've got to push ourselves, because we get stuck in our vitality, we get stuck in our health, and we want to make sure that we're pushing at ourselves. We want to make pushing more business. We want to make sure we're doing that. And then the last thing I want to talk about is community. Where is your tribe? Who are you hanging out with on a weekly basis, in person and online, right? In person and online. So many people have gotten lazy because of Zoom. They're not going out there. They're not meeting people, but we need the hugs. We need the communication. We need to be able to see you, and you need to be able to see other people. Right? There's that thing about the 8-second hug that can change all the chemicals in your body. There's the thing about the 8-second kiss. There's things about all sorts of different things. Even you just putting your hand on a friend's shoulder, right? Feeling that closeness, feeling that connection can change the chemicals in your body. Do you realize that? Do you realize that? So, as we're going out there, wanted to get this podcast to over 10,000 people around the globe so that we can go ahead and do that. So make sure you share it. Make sure you hit the hearts. Make sure you hit the likes. Pass it on to your friends, family, all the different things there, because we really want to get it up there, as we got some amazing people. I mean, some of our podcast people have over 167,000 people, subscribe to their YouTube channels, to their Instagram and everything like that. So we'll be talking about some social media stuff. We're actually going to be launching some stuff to help people grow their social media, to be able to go ahead and do that. But I want to talk to you about how you can come hang out with us, right? How you can come hang out with us. So we've got some upcoming events that I want to make sure everybody's aware of and potentially get you plugged into so that you can have the success that you want in 2025. And that's what it really is about, right? As we're talking about this and as you're going out there and doing things, we want to make sure that you are plugged in for success so that you know what's going on, what's happening, and where we are. If you want to come hang out with us around the country, we're kicking that off super fast here as we get into this, because we want to make sure that you are aware and that you have that ability to hang out with us on a weekly or monthly basis. Now, we do get together 3 times a week, my community. We've got over, I think it's like 150 people in our Infinity Club. We got over another 50 or so in the E-Family. So I want you guys to make sure that you are surrounding yourself with those people so that you can go out there and do the things that are going to make you successful, and also be able to bounce those ideas off people that are actually out there doing it and not reading it from a textbook. And that's what we're talking about here as we go out there to get yourself set up for success, is to do that. So we've got our first event coming up in April, and that's going to be in Denver, Colorado. So if you are in the Denver, Colorado area, make sure you reach out. We'll give you a link to get plugged in. We're going to be hanging out there for 2 days. There's a VIP dinner on, I believe it's Thursday night, and then Friday and Saturday, because we lead right into Easter there. And we want to make sure that you are plugged in. We're going to have some amazing speakers. Dr. Greg Kimball, who you heard on the podcast, is going to be there. We have myself. So Greg's going to be talking about mindset and get you all set up. It's also his 40th birthday. So if you want to come celebrate that with us, you're welcome to go ahead and do that. We've got Dan Fleischman. A lot of you guys know who Dan Fleischman is. He's part of the Aspire Tour. If you've seen him on stage like that, we're going to have Sharon Lecter there. We're going to have a whole bunch of different people coming out to speak at that event, because this is going to be a once in a lifetime 40th birthday party. And it is only $333 to attend that event. That's right, $333. Get yourself set up for that. To be able to do that, bring your kids. Again, these are kid-friendly events because we want to help the whole family. Bring your spouse, bring your kids, so that we can go ahead and do that. I know Chris and Carly, our survival experts, will be there, and former Navy, special operations. We'll have Joe Rivera and Amanda Culleton Rivera coming from New York out there as well. Real estate investors, entrepreneurs, Kip and Laura Brown from the Seattle area will be there as well, and many, many other speakers. There's a rumor David Meltzer might be there, so we'll see. Lots of different things going on. So if you want to get plugged in for that special event, come hang out with us. It is, like I said, family friendly. We're going to go over the 4 pillars of the infinity model. That's going to be personal development, professional development, vitality, and community. That's your supercharger, right? To go ahead and do that. And we're going to hang out together, have some fun, get some laughs, as well as get that information that you need to take your business to the next level. Then a few of us are going on a cruise for a week. We're going to be snorkeling. We're going to be hanging out on a boat. And then we're going to come back to New York City, May 16th, 17th, and 18th. That event is 5:33. So if you want to get plugged in there for that, we're going to have Dr. Greg Kimball, myself, Chris and Carly are going to do some of their survival training with us. We're going to have Sean Delaney join us at that event, talking about some business and process development for that. You're going to actually get to hear Joe and Amanda and Kip and Laura are going to be on the stage sharing about their success and how they've, as couples, worked together to build businesses to be successful, from real estate investing to entrepreneurship to tech to designing your life. Doesn't that sound cool? Who wants to design their life? And we might even have some special events coming up with that. And then after that, we're going to be in Seattle later in the year with Kip and Laura to go out there and do that event. And we've got 3 or 4 more events around the country. So stay plugged in on this podcast to get those updates on where they're going to be. But one of the special events I do want to talk about is our trip to Africa this year. So we can only take, no sales pitch here, no, none of that. We can only take 20 people to Africa with us to go on this very special trip that we've been designing with Chris and Carly, going out there. And we're going to do a couple different things. Number one, we're going to do some survival training. So, whether that's getting out of handcuffs, understanding your surroundings when you're traveling internationally, what to watch out for. This is actually a special bracelet here that's with special wire that actually has a mini handcuff key inside of it to escape handcuffs if anything ever happens while you're traveling. So things like that, Carly come up with are just, things you would never think of. And they're always looking out there to do those things. And then we're going to do a Express with Impact to get your message to the world. A lot of people want to tell their stories, but you tell them in a confusing way. And we need to shrink that down so that you can have the impact, whether that's on a stage, whether it's on a podcast, whether that's on a training that you're running. So we want to make sure you have a compact story that you could tell people that's going to stick in their brain and want them to do business with you or get your message to the world if you've got a fundraiser or charity you want to support. And as part of that, we're going to raise $25,000 to go ahead and stop the walk for water. In Africa, in Tanzania especially, they got to walk 2 hours to get water, get some water, and then come back 2 hours, and they miss a lot of school. We don't want them to miss a lot of school. We're about personal development, personal growth, and education. We want to make sure that you're educated, and we want them to be educated and have the same thing. So we're going to raise $25,000 for charity to be able to go ahead and donate to that. So we'll put a link down below. Hit the hearts, hit the likes if you like that. Hit the follow to go ahead and do that. And if you're not able to make it with us to Africa, but you do want to donate, we'll show you guys how to do that. And we want to make sure that we do that. And then a little bit of fun. We always say we work hard, we play hard, and we have some fun. We're going to go on safari for 3 days. We're actually going to do a walk-in safari. It's going to be super cool. Last time I was in South Africa, we did a drive-in safari. But this time we're going to be able to walk with the animals, be able to hang out there and do that. So we're going to have a lot more information about these things coming up. I did want to just present it to you here so you could learn a bit about it, because we can actually bring Chris and Carly out on a podcast so you can hear their story, how they met, how they've, gone from different things in their lives, past traumas. I mean, Chris has been all over the world. Lots of things he can't tell us, some things he can. We're going to have Carly on here as well. She has amazing experience. She helps train at Operation Black Site, one of Dan Fleischman's programs, as well as working with lots of military people there. And she's originally from Tanzania, so you need a chance to hear all about what we're going to be doing in Africa to go ahead and do that. You're also going to hear in a future episode of the podcast from Kip and Laura. Well, he now goes by Kevin Brown, right? Kevin Brown and Laura Brown. And they're going to tell you their story. They've had a huge transformation. Kip was a big guy in IT. He went to work and traveled. I think there was one point that he traveled. He stayed in a hotel over 250 some odd days in 1 year. That's a lot of travel. I thought I traveled a lot. And then Laura had a brain tumor, and they ended up having to go in there, and she had to relearn everything from scratch. And what's been cool about that process is of her relearning and then them actually working together and designing a life together is that they've had to relearn how to communicate. They've had to relearn how to do things. And Laura is amazing with colors. That's why I wasn't allowed to wear my red shirt on that podcast with her. You'll see it because, she tells me that's intimidating for women. So no red shirt on that one. So we went ahead and did that for that. So check that episode out, coming out shortly. We all have Wei Hung, and he's actually worked with people like Elon Musk. He's coached all these different people at these super high levels to, understand how they think better, as well as use the technology that they've created to tell you how you learn, how you can maximize your day, what time of the day you should be doing certain things, as well as then with your employees to see, are they in the right role? Are they in the right roles in your business? Are they doing the things that they enjoy? And I talk about shifting things around in your business to maximize your employees, to maximize your growth. Because when people are having fun at work, it doesn't really seem like work. And they're going to do more and more and drive your business. One of their companies, right, they do speech therapy. And as they were implementing some of this technology, they started to create a book. One of the people there was like, why don't we just create a book with the characters and animals and all these things? And they released the book, and now they're on their second or third book. Why? Because the employees now are having fun. The therapists are now having fun doing things. So if you want to maximize your business, you want to maximize you want to maximize your family, check out that human op episode that we're going to do here coming up. And then we got Gary and Lisa Price coming up, talking about that statue back there, the statue of responsibility. And if you've ever read Viktor Frankl's book, Man's Search for Meaning, that statue is referenced in that book. And we're going to talk about how we're launching that as part of the 250th year anniversary of the United States and how that's going to have an impact coming in 2026. So if you want to be in the ground floor of that, and sometimes responsibility has gotten a bad name, but we need to be responsible for our lives, for our future, for everything that we do. It's up to us because there's no one else out there to do that. So that's just a few of the things coming up. I said we got lots of things going on, from traveling. We're going to be going out of the country twice this year. We're going to bring you guys with us. If you want to come with us on these trips, you just got to send me a message. You just got to reach out to us. You got to go to thelaunchbuttonpodcast.com. Go ahead, subscribe there. It'll have some of the information about the upcoming events. We'll be able to get you plugged in. If those of you guys in the New York City area, we run live events twice a month that you can come together, start meeting people, start building those relationships, and start to get plugged in on everything there. But definitely get to one of our live events, because people don't understand how much they miss or crave that connection with people. And that connection with people that brings people together, whether that's going through certain situations, whether that's building together, whether that's just having friends to share with. Because oftentimes when we start changing our mindset and we start growing, people in our lives like to hold us back because they'll get mad at you. You're changing, they're not changing. And all of a sudden it's this weird cycle, and you got to make new friends. So come to one of our live events where everybody's out there. They want to lift you up. They want to push you forward, or one of our Zoom calls where they want to push you forward so that you can achieve the best that you can. Because it's not competition. It's actually collaboration. We don't see anybody else as competition. We see us all working together. That's why you see so many speakers coming together, whether it's Greg, Dan, Sharon Lecter, right? Myself, all the different speakers that I've mentioned. We're in a similar space, but we all work together because we all do things differently, and we all have our unique styles and our unique skills, and people are attracted to each one of those. So oftentimes we coach people together, we do those things, but you want to put yourself in that position to win, you got to get around the right people. You got to get around the right network. And that's just going to supercharge your life. So like I said, do something for the very first time, hence the axe here today, to be able to go ahead and do that. Right? We just got back from that trip. So I want to make sure that you are out there, you're enjoying things, because guys, you only get one chance at this thing called life. And we got to make sure we're going out there and living it to the fullest. And that's why when you're at the live events, you're going to see that you can achieve more. We did this exercise called the Gauntlet. Super Dave out there showed Greg this, and now it's been passed on through our community of entrepreneurs and business owners and investors. In fact, I got to do it twice in a week. And that was just, we push each other to our maximum. Not your maximum weight that you're pushing, but your maximum capacities, because we just end up burning out all of our muscles. And some people couldn't walk for a day. Some people couldn't move their arms for a day. But the only way to grow for a muscle is it's got to be torn down. We got to break it down, and then it's got to heal, and it grows back bigger and stronger. So we got to do that with our mind too. Sometimes it takes breaking it down to finding the holes, finding the things that are holding us back so that we can release it, let it heal and grow bigger, better, and stronger and push you past your limits. So if you want to get pushed to the next level, get plugged in, let's launch, let's keep things rolling in 2025. And I look forward to seeing you on the next episode of the Launch Button Podcast. Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you for joining us on the Launch Button Podcast, your gateway to unlocking your true potential and pursuing your passions. Don't let the journey end here. For more empowering insights, valuable resources, exclusive content, and free giveaways, visit www.thelaunchbuttonpodcast.com.